My dear learners, I welcome you once again to e-learning. So we are going to look at fractions as our first topic in second term's work, Mathematics Primary 6. We've been looking at fractions as well as primary 1. So under this topic we are going to look at subtopic addition and subtraction of fractions. So from earlier classes we discussed fractions and we said a fraction is a part of a whole. So if this is our whole and we divide it, then when we shade this one becomes a part of a whole. So this is 1 out of 2 parts. This upper number is what we call the numerator and this one is the denominator. So this lower number show us how many times has the whole been divided. So it is 1 out of 2. This means that this whole has been divided into 2 parts. Then that was covered in primary 5. We looked at different types of fractions, the improper, proper, mixed and decimal fractions. I looked at simple addition, simple subtraction, division, multiplication and so on. So here we are now going to look at addition and subtraction of fractions. So we are going to start with our first example. We are having a half then plus a quarter. But before I go any further, I urge you to arrange your work nicely. Let me first repeat writing mine. I show you how we should write. So one, you don't divide that book. Don't divide that book. And again, once you're writing these numbers, don't start from the margin. Don't start from the margin of your book. Just balance your book, that paper. So you have to write in the middle. So when you're writing, for example, now this is 1 out of 2, then leave space, you put plus, then leave space what? A half. So it has to be spaced like mine here. And again, we have those ones who have this tendency, they write a half like this, they make this one slanting. So please, that one is a mistake. Then I have those ones who are writing tiny things like this. No, please, here you'll get confused. Write something which is which can easily be seen. Now let us come back here. So we are having someone who is having a half and we are having also this one having a quarter. So there are two different people. This one has a whole, so his whole was divided into 2 parts like this. Now this one is having a half. Then we are having another one whose whole has been divided into how many? Into 4 parts. Then we have 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then this one takes 1 out of 4 parts. Remember we said the 4 means a denominator, shows the number of times the fraction the whole has been divided. Now when you look at this one has 1 part and this one has 1 part out of 2. So we need to add them. But when you look at this addition, these parts are not the same. This has only 2 parts. This one has 4 parts. This is not fair. So what you have to do is to raise these parts also to be 4 like this, because this one's whole was divided into 4. So we have also to divide this one's whole into how many? Into 4 parts. Now I'm dividing, observe. So even let me use, you see it clearly. Now this one initially I divided his whole into 2 parts. Then we need to make this one's whole to be equal with this one. So we are going to make this one divided into 4. Then we have this is 1 time, then this is the second time, then the third time. So you have divided it into 4. This is 1, then 2, then 3 and 4. Please pay attention and you understand this. Meaning that now this one's whole has been divided into how many? Into 4. This is 1, 2, 3 and 4. But because at first he had divided it into 2 parts, then this one makes this one's whole to be with how many holes now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 80 holes. Then there are 80 holes here. Now when we come to this one divided his whole into 4, but the first one, this person here divided his whole into 2 parts. What are we going to do? Now we have also to make this one divide his whole into how many? Into 2 parts that they are equal to this. Also now this one divides his whole into 2 parts. So this one, the first one, and this one is the second part, like the first one the way he did. Now when you look at this now, also this one, now we are having now the total parts. At first he divided it into 4, then the second time he has divided it twice like this one to balance this. So we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Also now this one has 80 parts. Now what does this one mean? This one shows that now all these people, they have equal parts. Now this one can be easier for us to add now. So this one we have now, we are going to look at the shaded parts here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now these 4 parts out of 8 parts, they are representing the half of 80 parts, meaning that at first it was 1 part, but when we have kept on dividing it into 4 parts to make it equal to this one, then we have come up with 1, 2, 3, 4, say that this is 4 out of 8. Then when we come to this one, the shaded parts, now we have 1, 2, so this one has 2 out of 8. Then this one is going to give us, now this half, when we make it equal, it's giving us 4 out of 8. Then plus now this person here, 2 out of 8. Then meaning that now these things are very equal. Now out of 4 parts, this one is giving us 4 parts. Then out of 8. Then out of 8, this one is giving us 2 parts. Then out of the total parts, all of them, each one has 8. So this one is going to give us 4 plus this 2. We are getting 6. So it is giving us 6 out of 8. Now here we have used the diagram. So let us move on and see. Now still we are developing the concept of adding and subtracting fractions. Now let us look at this. This is 2 out of 3, then plus 1 out of 5. Now when we look at this, this person, this is the denominator, this is the numerator. The denominator also. Now meaning that this one's whole was divided into 3 parts. Let us now start with that one. So this one's whole was divided into 3 parts. Now this is 1 and this one is 2. Then we picked, or he picked 2. He has given us 2 parts. Now this one, so this is 1, 2. So this is 2 out of 3 parts. Then this one's whole, for him, he has divided his whole into how many parts? Into 5 parts. This is 1, we have 2, then 3, we have 4. Now out of 4, this one is giving us only 1 part. This is 1 out of 5. Then they are telling us to add this with this one. But when we look at this, these things are not equal, so you have to make them equal, because this one divided his whole into 5 parts. Also let us divide this one's whole into 5 parts to be equal to this one, because this one divided them into 5, but this one divided them into 3. But now we need to get this whole and we will cut it into 5 parts. Let me change here the color such that you see the division very well. Now we are going to divide this one's whole into 5 parts to balance with this one. Now it's now going to be, this is 1, then we have 2, then we have 3, then we have 4. Then they are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now those are 5 parts we have divided. But now we have made this one divided by, to be divided by a 5. Then after that, let us now, this one divided his whole into 5, but this one divided his whole into 3. Now let us now make this one who divided it into 5 to be equal to this one by dividing his whole again into 3. Then it will be now 1 and 2. Then this is 1 layer, this is 2, and this is 3. So now they are equal. This one has divided into 5 parts like this one, and this one has divided into 3 parts like this one. Now when we look at all these ones, now we are going to get the shaded parts. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here we have let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So here there are 10 parts out of now how many total parts? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 out of 15. Then here we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So here there are 3 parts out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 out of 15. So why did we do this one? In order to get equal numbers. So this one has been divided into 15 parts. Then even here it is 15 parts. Now it is equal. Therefore this one, it is 10 out of 15, then plus 3 out of 15, meaning that these ones now they are equal. This one gives us 10, and now this one gives us 10 parts, then plus these 3 parts from this person, then all of them they have 15 parts. So what are we going to have? 10 plus this one, we are going now to have total 13 parts out of 15 parts they have given us. Now This one is addition when you are using the diagram work. So we can get bigger numbers, and we have no time to divide, to draw these diagrams and keep on dividing. So this one is going to introduce us into another simple method, which is called the using of LCM. So we use the lowest common multiple to get the common the equal number of parts, the equal quotients here. Now if I don't use this diagram method, then we are going to use the LCM method. So the LCM of 3, we have to get the LCM of 3 and 5. So here we are going back to that method of getting LCM, which is called prime factorization, and we are going to be using the ladder method. Now when we are prime factorizing, we are using prime numbers. So what are those prime numbers? Prime numbers are numbers that have two factors. One of the factors 1, and that number itself. So the prime numbers, the first prime number is a 2, then we have a 3, there is a 5, we have a 7, then we go to 11. Now these are the prime numbers. So we are going to prime factorize this, but it cannot prime factorize because it will give us a remainder. So let us start with the second prime number, which is a 3. How many 3's are in 3? 1, 3. Then how many 3's are in 5? We get one group of 3. We get one group of 3 and remain with a 2. So this one is not going to give us the answer. So it remains a 5. Why? We don't deal with the remainders. But now this one is over, then we go to the next prime number. How many 5's are in 1? We don't have, so remain with our 1. So how many 5's are in 5? So we have one group. So after this one, we multiply the factors 3 times 5, then this is giving us 15. So this 15 is equal, is same as this 15, which is acting as the new denominator, equal denominators. Now this one is used, this is now what we are going to call the LCM method. So this one I've started with a diagram so that you understand why do we need this 15, or why do we get the LCM. So we get the LCM in order to get what we call the common parts, such that the fractions become very equal. So we are going now to start adding or subtracting our fractions using the LCM method, but I have started with the diagram method so that you understand why do we need to use the LCM. Okay, now let us now start our, let me first change the color here. Now let us start our lesson. Now let us move on with our lesson. So let us now see if I'm given a quarter, please space that one, plus space 1 out of 3. Now instead of using the diagram method, I'm going to use the LCM method. So this work must be in the middle of your book. Then here you are going to be with your side work. Your side work here, you are going to get the LCM of 3 and 4. So the LCM of 3 and 4, it is 12. So it is the LCM, our LCM is going to be 12. If you have forgotten or if you don't know how to get an LCM, please I urge you not to hesitate to find the LCM by prime factorizing the first prime number. How many 2's are here? We have a remainder, so it remains a 3. How many 2's are in 4? So this is a 3. So how many groups of 2 are in 4? We get it 2. Then still 2 can divide. Then how many groups of 2 are in 3? There is we get a remainder because one group remainder a 1, so that one is not divisible. Then how many groups of 2 are in 2? It is a 1. So we move on and get the next prime number. How many groups of 3 are in 3? 1. How many groups of 3 are in 1? We don't get, we still remain with our 1. Therefore our LCM will be 2 times 2 times 3. Then 2 times 2, this is a 4, times 3, so it is giving us a 12. Then this is our LCM. So it is the same which you are going to get if you use the diagram method. So the diagram method here, the first person, this one divided his whole into how many parts? Into 4 parts. Then this is a 1, then a 2, then a 3, then this one becomes a 4. Then he picked only 1 part, so this is a quarter. Then the next person divided his whole into how many parts? Into 3 parts. Then this is a 1 and this is a 2, and this person used the only 1 part, so 1 out of 3. Then we said this one we cannot add them simply because they have what we call different denominators. They are not equal, so we have to keep them to make them equal. If now this one divided them into 4 and the first one divided the second one divided into 3, so let us also let this one also divide his into 3 like this one to make them equal. Now this is a 1, then this is a 2, and this is a 3. Then if now the first one divided his whole into 4 and this one divided into 3, now let this one also divide his whole into 4 so that they become equal. Now this is 1, then this is 2, and this is a 3. Then after that, let us now get the shaded parts now. After dividing them dividing them equally, then we have 1, 2, and 3. So this is 3 out of now how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 out of the 12. Then this one is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 out of 12. Now this is 12 and this 12 is what we have obtained as our LCM. Now this one, now because these fractions now they are equal, we can add them like 3 out of 12, then plus 4 out of 12. Then we are having now 3, this is 3, then plus this 4, then out of each one has 12, then this is giving us 7 out of 12. Now this is when we use the diagram method. Now we are going to use the LCM method. After we have obtained our LCM, which is 12, LCM of 3 and 4, then we are now taking a quarter of the total parts of 12. Then plus, you open a bracket, a third times the LCM, the total parts, then use your ruler, divide by the 12 here. Please space your work. Please space your work. Write things that are visible, that so that you don't get confused. Now after this, then how we are going to divide by 4 here. 1, how many 4s are in 12? We have 3. So these are the 3 parts here. Then by 3, 1, how many 3s are here? There are 4. These are the 4 parts here, meaning that a third of 12 we get 4 parts, then a quarter of 12 we get 3 parts out of the 12. Therefore what do we have? 1 times 3, it becomes a 3. Please here you skip a line, then plus 1 times 4, it is a 4. Use your ruler over the 12, so the equal signs must be in order. Then 3 plus 4, it is giving us 7 out of 12. Then use your ruler to draw one. You skip one line here, then get your ruler and a pen, then you underline with only one line from there up to the other second imagine, where the from this margin to the next to the second margin, only one line. Don't draw 2 lines, no. Okay. So let us move on again and look at another example here. So this example is also, I think now we are understanding. So this example is going to be a 2 out of 3, then plus a 2 out of 5. So we are now going to get the LCM. My side work here, the LCM of now, sorry, this is a 5, the LCM of 3 and a 5. So I think now you are an expert. The LCM is going to become a 15. So this one will be now, I skip a line, then it is 2 out of 3 times the 15 parts. If you don't know this, you can draw the diagrams. Then plus, now we have 2 out of 5 times 15. Then here divide by the total parts, which is the 15. And again, please, I'm warning you, don't design this work. Some people now start using now here they drop these brackets using a pencil. Everything must be in ink. Use a pen. Then here we are now going to divide. How many 3s are in 15? They are going to be 5. Then how many 5s are in 15? We have 3 5s. Then 2 times 5 here, we get a 10. Then plus 2 times 3, we get a 6 out of what we call 15. Then we are going now to add 10 plus 6, we are getting 16 out of 15. Then we are not going to stop here. Then we continue, and then we are not going to stop here because we are having 16 out of 15. Then this means that this is an improper fraction. Remember, improper fractions give us what we call mixed fractions. So how many groups of 15 can we get from 16? We get 115, we remain with a 1. So this is going to be one whole number, 1 out of 15. So this one makes our answer. So when we are marking, we give you just here the method mark here, then we can give you a bonus or answer mark 1. So let us move on and look at another example here. Hope we are together. So our other example here is now going to be one whole number and a quarter, then plus 2 whole numbers and a third. So now when we look at this fraction here, it is these fractions we are having now right here, they are what we call mixed fractions. Now what do you know about mixed fractions? Mixed fractions give us what we call improper fractions. So we have to change these ones into what we call the improper fractions. So this is the denominator times a whole number plus a numerator over the denominator, then this is times a plus. Therefore 4 times 1, it is a 4. 4 plus this one, we get a 5 out of the denominator, which is a 4. Then plus 2 times this one, it is a 3. It is a 6. 6 plus this one, we get a 7 out of 3. Then what is the LCM? Now here we are getting the LCM. Then the LCM becomes 12. Then this is 5 out of 4 times our LCM, which is a 12. Then plus 7 out of 3 times a 12 over our LCM, which is a 12. So how many 4s are in 12? There are 3. Then how many 3s are in 12? There are 4. Now 5 times 3, we are getting 15. Then plus 7 times 4, we are getting 28 out of 12. So our side work here, we are now adding 15 plus 28. What are you getting? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this is 13. We regroup, we take it 1 to the next place value. 1 plus this one, 2 plus this one, a 4. So here I come up with the 43 out of 12. Then how many 12s are in 43? So how many 12s are in 43? I'm going to get 3 12s. Remember, because 3 times 12 here, I'm getting 36. Then 43 minus take away 36. This is 13. So this is a 7. This is a 3. So remainder 7. So I'm going to get a 3 whole number, 7 out of 12. Now we can get also another approach. Then you underline that like the way I told you. Then another approach is this one, a 1 and a quarter, then plus 2 and a third. So when you are having all whole numbers here, it is easier to first add the whole numbers, like 1 plus a 2 in brackets, then plus a quarter plus into brackets a quarter plus a third. So you simplify this one, then this one, a quarter plus a third, is giving us 7. Then you bring your 3 into a quarter plus a third. So when you simplify a quarter plus a third, then we come up with 3 7 out of 12. So you can, if you don't do this one, you can first add the whole numbers and again you simplify the fractions. Let us now look at another example. Okay, now let us look at this example. A 2 and a 60th plus a third. Now when you look at that one, so here we are having a whole number, then this one is not a whole, we don't have a whole number. So here the other method I've told you will not apply, that method of first adding the whole numbers. Then here we have to first change this one into improper times plus, then 2 times this one, it is say 12, plus that one, it is 13 out of 6, then plus a third. Then what is our LCM? LCM is 6, so it is a third out of 6 times our LCM, then plus a third times our LCM all over the LCM. So how many 6's are in 6 here? 1. So 1 times 13, we get 13. Then plus a third by 3, 1 by 3 here, we get 2. 2 times this one, it is a 2 out of a 6. So this is giving us 15 out of 6. So when we look at that number from there, so when we look at that one, so it is giving us 15 out of 6. By 6, 1 by 6 here, we get 2, that is 12, 13, 14, 15, remainder 3. So we get 2 whole number 3 out of 6. But now when we look at this one here, when look at this one here, it means we are having these numbers are divisible. So by 3, 1 by 3, 8. So finally it is giving us 2 whole number and a half. Or we can also use the LCM. So here we are going to use the LCM when we are doing what? When we are doing a subtraction. So they can give us this one, 3 quarters. If we have now 3 quarters minus, please space your work, minus 2 thirds. So we are using the LCM method. So LCM of 4 and 3 is going to be a 12. Then it is 3 out of 4 times our LCM, then minus 2 out of 3 times our LCM all over what we call the LCM, which is a 12. Then by 4 here, 1 by 4, 3 times this one, it is giving us a 9, minus by 3, 1 by 3 here, 4 times this one, it's giving us 8 out of a 12. So when we subtract 9 minus this one, we get 1 out of a 12 as our final answer. Okay, now so let us look at subtraction, then let us look at the subtraction of fractions. For example, if we are given this one, 1.5, then minus 1.5 minus 3 quarters. So 1.5 minus 3 quarters. So this one is a mixed fraction, this is a proper fraction. So we convert this one into improper fraction. This is times, then plus this with this one, 2 by 1, that is 2 plus this one. So it becomes 3 out of a 2 minus now 3 out of a 4. So the LCM of 2 and 4, remember we are using LCM approach, then this is a 4. Then we shall now have 3 out of 2 times the total parts, that is a 4, then minus 3 out of 4 times the total parts, that is a 4, out of our total parts, which is a 4. By 2, 1, by 2 here 2, then by 4, 1, then by 4 a 1. No, by 4 2, yes. By 3 groups of 2 is giving us a 6, minus 3 groups of 1, we get a 3 out of a 4. Remember we are subtracting, so 6 minus a 3, it's giving us 3 out of a 4. Now let us look at another example here, and then this example. Okay, let us look at this example number next, under subtraction of fractions. So this one is saying under subtraction of fractions. So this is if we are given 5 whole numbers, 5 wholes, then 3 quarters, take away, we are having now 2 whole numbers and a third. So here we convert, this is 2 wholes, then times here, then plus 4 times this one, 20 plus that one, we are having 23 out of a 4, then minus times, then plus 2 times this one, 6 plus this one, 7 out of a 3. Then the LCM, it is a 12. So our LCM here is a 12. Then it is 23 out of 4 times the LCM, which is a 12. Then minus, remember we are subtracting, a 7 all over 3 times the total parts, which is a 12. Then into brackets, please don't forget them. Then divide by 12. Then how many 4s are in 12? There are 3. 3 times 3, it's a 9. 3 times 2, 60. 60. So 69. Then how many groups of 3 are in 12? There are 4. 4 times this one, we get 28 out of 12. So this is telling us to subtract. So side work here, 69 take away 28. So 9 take away 8, that is a 1. 6 take away 2, that is a 4. Then we come up with now 41 out of 12. How many 12s are in 41? Because this is an improper fraction, so we have 3 12 remainder, because 3 times 12 here, it is giving us 36. So 41 take away 36, this is it. We regroup here, we get 11. So 6 7 8 9 10 11 5. So remainder here 5. So we get 3 whole number, then 5 out of 12. So I hope you've understood the lesson. So let us go to the activity. So our number one is saying add the following fractions. Number 1 is saying add the following fractions. Add the following fractions. So we have part A, we are having a quarter plus an eighth. Then part B here, we are having 2/3 plus a sixth. We have 2/3 plus 1 out of 6. Then part C here, we are having 2/5, then plus 3/10. Then part D, we are having a quarter, then plus a third. Then part E, we are having 2/5 plus plus a sixth. Then part F, this is number 1. Part F, it is saying 2/3, then plus 2/3 plus 4/9. Then F part G, it is giving us 2/9 plus 4/9. So let us go to number 2 here. So number 2 is saying add. Also it is saying add the following. This is our number 2. Please, I urge you to do the assignment, and I've shown you how to space to write our work neatly. So please do what I've told you. Then part A here, we are having 2 whole number and a quarter, then plus 3 whole numbers, 3 quarters. Then part B here, we are having 1 whole number and a half, then plus 5 whole numbers, 7 out of 8. Then part C, it is 2 whole numbers and an eighth, then plus 4 whole numbers, 3 out of 4 or 3 quarters. Then part D here, we are having 5 whole numbers and a half, then plus 2, 3 out of 8. Then that is part D. Then part E, it is 3 wholes and a third, then plus 2 and a half. Then part F is 3 and a quarter, 3 quarters, plus 9 wholes, 2 and a third. Let us go to number 3. Number 3, it is telling us to subtract. So number 3 says subtract the following. Subtract the following. Subtract the following. So part A, it is 3 quarters minus 3/8. Then part B here, 5 out of 6 minus a half. Then part C, we are having 3 quarters minus a third. Then part D, it is part D, 9 out of 10 minus 2/5. This is a 2. Then part E, then it is 5 out of 8 minus 3 out of 5. Then part F here, part F, it is 5 out of 9 minus 2 out of 7. Then number 3, still it is saying subtract the following. Subtract the following. Then we are having 3 whole numbers and a half minus 2 whole numbers and a quarter. This is A. Then B, it is saying 5 whole numbers 3/4 minus 2 wholes and a third. Then C, it is saying 6 whole numbers and a quarter minus 2 wholes 3 out of 8. Then D, it is saying 4 whole numbers 3/4 minus 1 whole and a quarter. That is D. Then E, it is saying 12 wholes and a 12th and a half, minus 3/4. Then F, it is saying 9 whole number and a third minus 8 3/4. Let us go to number 4. Number 4, our number 4 says still, number 4, it is telling us to subtract still. Subtract the following. Subtract the following. This is part A. It is 8 minus 2 and a half. Then B, it is 6 minus 1 whole and 4/4. Then C, 10 minus 3 and a 7th. Then D, we are having 6 minus a 2 7 out of 8. So our number 5, it says so you've been a good learner. I urge you to do the assignment, the activity, and inbox me for marking. Let us now meet in the next lesson, where we shall be looking at division and multiplication plus body mass of fractions.